Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Living Life at Life U. I am your host, Dr. Veronica Garcia, and today we are joined with Dr. Bradford, our head coach of the Life University Rugby team, and I just learned that he's also one of the coaches for the professional team of Atlanta in rugby. Hi, welcome. How are you doing today?
Hey Veronica, thanks for having me. Doing great.
Good. That's awesome. And talk to me a little bit about what is your role at the university, maybe a little bit more than what I said, I think, like.
Yeah. I've been here for about 9 years now. I've had quite a few different roles. My main role here at the moment is, like you said, I'm the head coach of the Club Rugby team. I've also helped out with our two varsity teams as well, and then I still teach as an adjunct faculty member as well. So I had a class this morning, but once upon a time I was a full-time assistant professor. But these days, like you said, I've just kind of pivoted, and I'm focusing on coaching some rugby at the moment.
That's awesome. How exciting. And talk to us about rugby. For the people that have no idea what is rugby, how would you explain rugby to them?
Yeah. I think rugby is the greatest sport in the world, but I'm a bit biased.
I was going to say, not biased at all.
The cool thing about rugby is that it's fast, it's physical, it's non-stop. There's players trying to outsmart each other, but at the same time they're trying to beat the crap out of each other as well, right? So you get a little bit of everything. But in terms of just kind of the basic gist of rugby is you're trying to advance the ball up the field. You can do that by running the ball or kicking the ball. If you pass, it has to be lateral or backwards. And then, like I said, it's nonstop. So every time there's a tackle, there's a contest for the ball, and the player only really stops when it goes out of bounds, there's a penalty, or someone knocks the ball on. So it is a very continuous game, and players got to play both attack and defense, and that makes it a real contest.
I love that. I had the opportunity to experience a rugby game when I was a student here, and then afterwards I've been to a few. Yeah. But I remember that first game feeling like, there's so much going on. I know. What is going on? Yeah. And then I had a friend next to me who played rugby, so she's trying to explain me everything about it in one same sitting.
That's the best way to watch it. That is. You kind of need someone to help you through your first couple of games, because there is a lot going on. Yeah.
I love that. And talk to us a little bit about your philosophy of coaching and training.
Yeah, so with a club team, I have a group of student athletes that's a little bit older than all the other sports teams, and so the way that I approach it is just with a growth mindset. And so I want to create an environment where they can become not just better rugby players and better students, but also better men. And so in order to do that, we have to create an environment where they can do so. And the experience level on the team is vast. We have guys that are brand new to rugby, and then we have guys that play on the professional team as well in the off season. So in terms of that, balancing, the environment where the players that are more experienced don't get bored, and the players that are less experienced, that they don't drown because there's too much going on. And so finding that balance and catering it so that it is good for each individual, but also then making sure that the team can compete and do what we want to accomplish that season as well.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you've mentioned club.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a club team here at the university versus what doesn't have the word club in front of them?
Yeah, exactly. We used to be the Life University Rugby team, right?
Okay.
The so-called club team started in 1980. Because it was a chiropractic school, they competed against not only other universities but also local clubs or clubs around the USA. So it's not a club team in the true sense of university sport, where it means that it's not varsity, so it's club, and it falls under intramural or different department like that. It's a club team in the sense that we compete against other clubs, outside clubs, in the amateur game. Before professional rugby started a few years back, we were playing at the highest level in the US with our club team. So we played teams up in New York and Boston and all the way up the East Coast. And then when we cross over for national championships, all the way out to California as well. And so it's club in the sense that we play other club teams that aren't necessarily affiliated with universities, less than it's a club at the university.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, yeah. I feel like I have a better understanding of it. Talk to me about, I guess, the personas, the people in the team right now. You mentioned you have some amateurs. You mentioned you have some people that are kind of like retired but not really. What is that in between? Who plays rugby right now for the club?
Yeah, so majority of our student athletes on the team are DC students.
Okay.
So majority of them do that. Then there's a good group that are doing their master's degree. And then we have a couple of guys that, for whatever reason, they're out of collegiate eligibility, whether that was because they went to school later, it's a second career, or they went to the military. They don't have collegiate eligibility and they're pursuing a bachelor's degree. So that's kind of our three types of students that we have. In terms of experience level, I've never turned anyone away that wanted to play. So that's what I mean with, like, we have brand new players that, like, they came to Life and this is the first time that they're playing rugby.
Wow.
But then obviously the recruiting, to be competitive, we also have to recruit some players that have experience, that have played for a while. And so we have everything from first year players all the way up to, we got 5 guys that play with us in the fall. So our season runs kind of August through end of November. But right now they're in season with the Atlanta Pro team. So they're students, they're enrolled full time, they're pursuing degrees. They play for the Life Club team, but they also play professional rugby. So it's a bit of a balance for them as well. And then we have all the guys in between in terms of experience levels.
That is a huge commitment.
It is.
A huge time commitment.
Yeah.
So in other words, what I hear you saying is that it is possible. It is possible to be a full-time student, whether you're in the chiropractic master's or undergraduate program, and still be a devoted athlete that gets to compete and gets to have, as a retired athlete, you get to have that high of competition.
Yes, exactly. And that the DC, course load is quite a bit.
It's insane.
And we've had to adjust how we train. So all of our training sessions, the DC classes can run anywhere from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So we do all of our trainings at night. We got three training sessions a week on the field, and then there's 3 gym sessions that they fit in around their class schedule. So we try and run it as professional an environment as we can, but at the same time, we also have to be respectful for the fact that they are students.
Right.
And like I always tell the guys is that they can play rugby anywhere and they can go to chiropractic school anywhere. Obviously this is the best one, but to come here, you want to do both, and you want to do both at, the best institution for that. And so that's why they've come here. And so because they're motivated to do that, they want to play rugby at a high level and they want to achieve academic success, they're very self-motivated, and that makes life a lot easier. So that's kind of the balance that they have to have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how do you, implement, inclusivity and positivity on your team? What are some of those ways?
I probably would have answered that question a lot different if you asked me a few years back. But one of the best things that I think I could have done is to create a more player-centered environment is investing more time in our leadership groups. And so for the past few years, we've had really good leadership groups with different types of players on them, right? So there's a wide variety of players on the leadership groups as well. And they kind of act as that in-between between the players and myself, right? So I always tell the guys, like, if they're ever in trouble, I'm the first one I want them to call, right? Like, I want to have that type of bond with them where they feel safe to come talk to me and, about whatever they need to. But at the same time, there's going to be some times where they're not going to feel comfortable, right? And so the leadership group kind of acts as that conduit between them and myself in terms of making sure they raise any red flags or areas that they want to see changed or improved, or if things aren't going the way that they like. And so that creates an environment where I constantly get feedback and I can change and adapt with my coaching staff what we're doing. Yeah. And the players have a voice, which is important as well.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's again, as a retired athlete, it's really beautiful to know that you're going a step further to give people the space to express themselves and to still kind of provide that feedback and, feel welcomed and seen and loved.
Yeah. And that's why I said I probably would have answered it a little bit different, but like, it's just through time you kind of learn to see, how do you get the most out of your athletes? And this has been one of those positive changes.
Yeah, we evolve, we mature, we make it happen.
Yeah,
I love it.
Exactly.
Is there anything you would like people to know of how they can, become part of the club team at Life University?
Yeah, I mean, there's various ways they can do that. They can reach out to us through our social media platforms. We have a Life University Club Rugby Facebook page, Instagram page, so they can reach out through that. I have an office in Sports Health Science, so if anyone is on campus and want to come talk to me, they can come talk to me there, or an email works as well. My email is francis.bradford@life.edu, so they can reach out through that as well. And if they want to be part of the team, let's have a conversation, let's see if it's a good fit. And if it is, then we'd welcome them on the team.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes of your time to spend with us. Guys, thank you so much for having us one more time here at Living Life at Life U. Again, this is Dr. Bradford, and I'm Dr. Garcia. I hope to see you on the next episode. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Dr. Bradford.
Thank you for having me.